Hello, Benjies, and welcome to the BingeWorthy podcast, part of the Geekish Network. My name is Johnny Randolph, and I have three illustrious co-hosts. My first co-host, she is an actress, she's a writer, she's a director, she is a flat-out superstar. Miss Courtney Scott Wright, say what's up to the people.
Hello, hello.
And our next co-host, this guy, he is a game designer. He's an entrepreneur. He is part owner of the Geekish Network. Say what's up to the people, Chuck.
What it do, people? What it do?
And my last co-host, this guy, he's an orator. He's an educator. He's a technologist. He's just a super fly dude. Ricard, say what's up to the people, man.
Hello, Governor.
And we are the BingeWorthy podcast. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing, man? Y'all
Doing
ready
great.
to do this?
Yeah.
Doing great.
Doing good.
New year, new me.
Oh,
All right.
hey.
The premise
All right.
of our show is that each week we will binge watch a television series. At the beginning of the show, we will rate it using our unique binge-worthy scale. Then we engage in conversation. We talk about the plots, we talk about the characters, we talk about special effects, the full spectrum of that IP. And at the end, we will re-rate it. Now, sometimes my illustrious co-hosts, they can influence each other or influence us to change that rating. Sometimes they may influence us to lift it up, and at other times it drags it all the way down to the flow. Now, speaking of our binge-worthy scale, it is as followed. At a number 5 is what we call a full binge out. That means the property is outstanding. At a number 4, we call it a full meal. It is not quite a full binge out, but it is definitely worth your time to invest in watching it, as you will have a great time. At a number 3, we call that a mini meal. A mini meal is not bad. It's just not good either. It's kind of, it's just, Courtney describes it as a bland ass TV dinner and always add without all that Lyris seasoning sprinkled in. At a number 2, we call that a snack. A snack, it is just something that you are watching because there is not anything else on. You know, you're like in the house, you're hungry, but you're too lazy to go out. So you just go into the cabinet and open it up and you see a stale bag of Cheetos and, you just lick your fingers a little bit and taste on those. So that's what a snack is. And at a number 1, we call a cringe-worthy. And a cringe-worthy is just some old bullshit. Why the hell did I waste my time watching this? Today, we are going to be reviewing Disney Plus's Willow. Willow, the premise is it has been nearly 17 years since the Queen was defeated. An unlikely group of 6 heroes set off on a dangerous quest to places beyond their home where they must face their inner demons and come together to save the world from the Gales. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to rate it. So, Courtney, I'm actually going to start with you tonight. You usually bad cleanup, but let's change it up a little bit. How are you going to rate Willow, the television?
Oh, you starting with me. Well, okay, first of all, let me say, when I heard that Willow was coming out, I sat down and I was thinking, I was like, oh, okay, Willow. I remember Willow. And then I thought about it. Do I remember Willow? I'm going to find this movie, so I'm prepared so I can remember everything that happens. The movie started and I realized I had never seen it. I knew about the main character. I knew who Willow was. I knew there was a baby involved he was trying to save. But that was it. That was all I knew. And I knew Val Kilmer was in it. Those are my extent of my knowledge of Willow. So I watched the movie and I had a rip-roaring good time. I really enjoyed it. It's a cult classic. I totally understand it. It came out during the time of like Star Wars, and it wasn't quite Star Wars. It wasn't quite Spaceballs, but it's fell somewhere in the middle. And so I was looking forward to seeing like what are they gonna do, especially knowing that Val Kilmer's obviously Matt Mardigan's obviously not coming back. He's not gonna be in it. So let me see, like what I'm really curious to see like what they're gonna do with the Willow and and who's coming back, right? So I gotta say, as a newly old fan of old fan of Willow, I don't know what these people were doing. I felt like it was a disservice to the memory of this show, the movie. And so I can't even give it a snack because it's not even worthy of my Cheeto fingers. You know what I'm saying? So I got this old grandma candy.
Oh Lord.
Got a Werther's. Okay. I'm watching this. I'm like, let me go and get this little grandma candy because the grandma is like, I'm going to eat this Werther's because this show, this just cringeable. It's not even cringe worthy. It's cringeable.
So it's safe to say we're giving it a cringe worthy. All right.
Hard pass.
Cringe worthy. All right, Rakai, what you got, man? We're gonna go with you next.
Governor, my esteemed colleague, Courtney, summed it up so well. I have been waiting for this day. Because I've seen, I've been on the show, we watched pretty much a good number of shows that fit in line with what I like. Yeah. This, and Courtney is right. So the 1988 movie Willow was written specifically as a vehicle for Warwick Davis. I mean, I guess, little people need their shine too. So, okay. Cool.
Right, no,
and again,
diversity here, yeah.
And again, the shining quality to me was it had Val Kilmer, and I like just about every movie that Val Kilmer's done. He had his wife in the movie, Joanne Wally Kilmer. They had a number of the people who were in the movie come back. Joanne Wally came back. Warwick Davis came back. His daughter in the movie, Mims, who is his actual daughter in real life, she came back.
Oh, really? That's his actual daughter?
Yeah, that's his actual daughter. And she was in the original movie too, which was
that wasn't the original actress, was it? Because I thought
yeah, she was a little bitty kid that found a baby. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
That
was her. Yeah, they try to pass off Christian Slater to give us some Val Kilmer like
some 80s cred.
This was bad. Like, I'm not got me a snackage, a combo snackage. Cause this is bad. Like. So it's gonna be a snack for me. I'm not gonna go all the way cringeworthy.
You going to snack?
Yeah, because to me, cringeworthy means I can't even finish that trash.
That's fair.
I did finish this, and I think, and Courtney would agree with me. I don't remember the characters' names. Like, I don't care about anybody on this show. Like, I just don't. I don't, as a matter of fact, before we went on air, I had to look up the people's names again just so I could talk about them because I don't know their names. I don't care. Little person, big person, stupid person, ugly. I don't care.
Oh, so you going with a snack? All right, okay.
Who was the guy that came back as the brownie? Who was from the original? Which I'm still mad that we didn't actually get a brown person as a brownie, but I guess they couldn't do it considering that somebody would have claimed racist. But that was the original actor who was in, and he came back. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The Tasla base, right?
It's all
good. The guy who was the brownie who
was Kevin Pollak, who was in Good Men, and Rick Overton, who was in Beverly Hills Cop. So I remember Kevin Pollak. I don't know Rick Overton for real, but yeah, they were the original. They were the brownies in the original movie. They came back.
I'm gonna jump in here real quickly, and this is our second show of the season of the new year, and this is my first cringeworthy. I'm gonna keep it real short and real succinct. There's no need to belabor the point. I'm gonna say cringeworthy, and I'm gonna keep it moving. Chuck, what you got in here, man?
Well, let me talk about this movie, Willow. When I was a kid, we used to go to Best Buy, and before it was Best Buy, it's called the Video Spot off of Alexandria Drive across Versailles Road, where I lived at.
That's
I
his
used to
neighborhood in
beg my
Kentucky.
father to rent Willow every Friday and Saturday because I
Really?
loved this movie. I loved it. For some reason, I loved this movie.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, get Willow again. Get Willow again. And my dad would say no, rightfully so. Because a
Smart man.
1988 truck was 11 years old and thought that it was the bee's knees. This and Clash of the Titans and Beastmaster could not top those three movies. Those movies were magical.
I'm with you on the other two.
You know, those movies are magical. I saw the original movie before I started the show. And for the first time in my life, I wanted to kick a little person. I never had that thought ever in my mind. Ever wanted to do that ever before.
Oh,
I didn't want to kick him like a football and send him soaring. I wanted to kick him in his mouth and knock him down
Oh my
and
God.
probably do a curb stomp after that.
Oh my God, we're gonna be protested.
This is not in any relationship to his stature or who he is.
Nothing like that.
Mad.
It was just the bad acting, and every time that Val Kilmer was doing something to save his life and to save that raggedy head baby's life, he was like, "You're not doing something, mathematics. You're not doing it right. You need to hurry up. Why are you taking so long?" He nagged the whole entire movie, and it actually contributed no actual strength or skill to the movie. How he saved that little girl was a magic trick, and I'm not talking about magic trick like doing a spell or something. It was actually an illusion magic,
like a magician trick.
A magician,
David Copperfield.
yes.
A bad
Like
man.
you go to the library. You go to the
Yes.
library and get
Yes.
beginners magic.
Yes. I understand this is Ron Howard's one of his earlier films, and so he was happy to have a fantasy film. Then it goes to the show. This show, at first, I was quite excited because the creator / writer of the show, the developer, he worked on Dawson's Creek. He worked on Freaks and Geeks.
This Kevin
He
Williams?
worked on The First Time, and he wrote Solo, a Star Wars story.
There you have
That
it.
right there. That
There
right
you
there is
have it.
enough for me. That right there is enough for me.
All right.
You damn
So-
near M. Night
Go home
Shyamalan. That's
now.
enough for me.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't know that.
Solo, a Star Wars story.
I
I
wouldn't even
realized
watch
he,
this shit
he
if you
messed
told me
up
that at
there
first.
and said, "This is my last chance to get this right for Disney."
Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
Jonathan
He fucked up.
Kasdan made a horrible TV show. Kathleen Kennedy should have got fired after green lighting this show and letting it come out on the Disney Plus service.
Mm-hmm.
She should have been fired. Ron Howard should be fired for being an executive producer, so putting his money on this and not trying to take his money back to
Mhm.
stop this show from
You
being
go
made.
sit your
Since
ass
he
down,
made the
Opie.
original creation. The only saving grace this show had was the virtual production. The virtual production I thought was gorgeous. Not the visual effects, but the virtual
I was
production.
about to say, what you talking about? Because
The virtual production, the sets.
Okay.
Like the way they did those sets, and no, those sets were not real. They were all stages. And they had visual effects artists working on it. I thought it was beautiful. I thought they were beautiful. I hope Top to Wing looks way better than this, but we'll see. But I thought that was really well, and I'm gonna give it a snack because I think the virtual production team made this thing look really, really good. They put a lot of money into this, and they shouldn't have had this much money. It shouldn't have had this much. It didn't deserve this much money.
Okay.
It just makes me think that, I should come up with some badass idea and get it funded because this is bullshit.
So that gave us a cumulative score of 6 divided by 4 of us. So that gives us a 1.5. So we'll round this up to a snack right now.
It's too high.
You can change it to a cringeworthy.
I'm enjoying my combos right now. Hold on.
Alright,
I'm sure it'll change by
Okay, so everybody here saw the original, right?
Yes.
Fans? We fans? Not fans?
I was a fan.
I definitely a fan.
Yeah.
I realized I was a fan of Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer made that movie.
He did.
Val Kilmer sold that movie from just his commitment, his dedication, his commitment to the character, his dedication. He knew what movie he was in. He understood the mission and he carried it out, executed it perfectly.
That I agree.
And it didn't come across as hokey. If the man got turned into a guinea pig, and he did, you know what I mean? He still came back battling and like, I mean, all the things of situations that they put him in from the very first time you see Mad Mardigan in the cage, like he is just engaging. Like you want to follow him. There's a reason, and I didn't even know that was his actual wife. There's a reason that, like, oh girl, I was like, yeah, I'd have turned sides too. You know what I mean? But like this was so upset. It hurt my feelings. And I told Randy, I was like, I didn't hate it. My rating is mostly based on the fact that I'm offended as a fan. Like, as a fan, I thought that you did a real disservice to a movie that people have been waiting like literally like 30 plus years for you to come out with something. You said 88?
Yeah, 88.
88.
Are we waiting on the follow-up to Willow?
No.
But here's the thing. I would have liked to have seen a follow-up. And people, when they announced that they were going to be doing a series, people were excited because you never knew what happened to Laura Dannon. And it was such a cult classic that like that little girl, like we've been waiting to see. This is for someone to want to kill a baby, like a legit infant who was like an hour old. You know what I'm saying? Like the mother had just given birth, and this witch is trying to kill an infant who's supposed to be the most prolific sorceress of her age. She's basically Hermione Granger. Yes. And can I tell you, I know I'm gonna skip to the end. I'm gonna skip to the end because I was so angry. I was so angry that they legit had a Voldemort battle. They legit had a Voldemort battle. And I was sitting there like it was half Voldemort, half unlightsaber. And I was just like, what is happening right now? If Hermione Granger were here, she would have smoked this broad and been done.
Right.
I just like, I can't, like, it made me want to ask, can we get a Hermione Granger? Can we find out what Hermione was doing in all these years? That's where I went. I'm not even watching the Laura Dannon.
Like, I felt that way about
I know watching that. I wanted to avoid a cadaver, both of them. I got that.
But I felt like that with every character. You like what's the prince? Not the prince, but the prince from the other kingdom. It was like his father don't like him because ain't no way he was supposed to be sent on this mission. You know he ain't coming back, right? His father was like, I'm gonna make a new heir. He killed his brother, so I'm gonna get rid of him and I'm gonna make a new heir. Because there's no way of a mission of this magnitude.
Even the explanation of that shit was weak.
That was
cool.
The explanation that was weak.
Wife.
So he
gotta go.
It's like we're not even married yet. They literally hadn't even like had a ceremony.
You know what makes it bad? When she did go, when they go, she didn't even speak to him. Not really once at all.
Not once.
Not once.
The whole crew going on this important mission did not make sense.
Make sense at all.
Not one person, other than the experienced guy.
Fake ass Fellowship of the Ring.
No, but he didn't even want to go.
Right, but that's everybody else. Like for a mission like this, you got the heir to the throne, and you sending the weakest people in the kingdom to go retrieve the prince. It made absolutely no sense to me.
But even worse than that, you got a Laura Dannon as a scullery maid. Now, you Cinderella her. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even about the fact that like. You didn't want people to know she was a great sorceress. Okay, cool. You don't want people to know that she was famous. Okay, cool. But a maid?
Matter of fact,
no, the muffin cooker. That's what she was doing. That was her specialty.
She was
like
baker.
The baker, muffin cooker.
She was the baker.
You didn't even did you educate the girl? She couldn't
nothing.
No, you let your son. You let your son be a womanizer and take the girl.
Like
your son's a man slut. You know
didn't
he's
even know her
talking to
name.
the most.
Mhm. And
Go ahead,
Yes.
Chuck.
Your son's a
best.
man slut, and you're gonna let him date the one that's gonna save us all?
Right. And they didn't teach her nothing. They didn't teach her nothing.
And then
I'm
Willow
surprised she
came,
could read.
Willow came back, but again, everybody knows Willow's a raggedy sorcerer. Like we know he hasn't got much better. He clearly stole the old original sorcerer's like staff.
And let's be
What, the
real.
original
Is
sorcerer
Willow even
died, he just
important
took it.
in this series?
No.
No, yo, when Willow was
No.
like, I'm not going, I'm going home. I was like, what?
Good.
The series, no, the series is
Take
called
your ass
Willow.
home.
It's called Willow. It's called Willow. And he's fucking
I feel
out.
like Rakai, you guys. I was like, good. He's a waste anyway.
It was like,
He didn't escape. He didn't escape across the shattered seas or nothing. He sat there and lectured the girl. You gotta become a great sorceress. You're the emperor sorceress. You gotta get better, even though I suck.
One of the cool things about our show is we have a chat, and in the chat they can talk with us, and we'll respond back. And Mark put, "I think the queen forgot it was Allura."
I mean, it's not
wait,
hard to
until
forget
she was like,
because
wait, where the cook at? Was she out here? Somebody gotta go get her.
And why? And they made her
She's
blind.
like, your
I
son
thought
got
they
the
made her
slide in,
blind.
and
That's
she's
why the
been
queen
chasing
forgot.
after him.
the queen rescued a redhead.
Right.
And that baby was blonde.
I thought the black girl was going to be it, and then it was
Me
like,
too.
no,
Me
it was
too.
the blonde. I'm like, what?
That
She
was such a red hair.
she
It was so
obviously
rude.
red
I
hair.
thought it was gonna be the black girl. If
I
it had
think
been the black
everybody
girl,
thought it was gonna be the black hair. And I bet you somebody in that writing room thought they were genius. We're gonna give this red herring. We're gonna have the black girl with the curly hair, the light skinned mixed black girl, and everybody's gonna think it's her. Then we're gonna surprise them all and make it the blonde. And
then
turn
she
her
went
head
back to
red
being a
in the
redhead.
cave with the aura.
right? Well, because the queen had been bleaching her hair, having somebody bleach her hair, having the head cook bleach her hair.
Probably
or
so.
kind of spell on it.
What happened, Courtney?
The little
She was
redhead black girl,
baking.
I need her to play another part. Like she keep playing the same damn part over and over. I'm
Over
tired.
and over again. She was like the same role in
Solo,
Solo.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, like
Yes.
same damn part. Like stop it.
Oh, it was just from the beginning. It was like, what the hell? I feel like the people from like Amazon got together and Netflix and HBO Max, and they were like, yeah, we got this fantasy show. And then Kathleen Kennedy was like, we got a fantasy show too. And then they was like, oh, we got Willow, make something happen. And they just came up with a story out their ass and say that they had a fantasy show in the repertoire. Because this shit made no goddamn sense. From
I mean, even the black girl not leaving, finding her tribe, finding out the queen lied, finding out that the queen's family actually, killed her family. Like, isn't that what happened?
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And at this point, she becomes Samuel L. Jackson on Leonardo DiCaprio's plantation.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, you didn't even waver. You didn't even consider. You didn't even have
because love, Courtney, love.
No. I
I
understand that the daughter didn't know, but there's not that much love in the world that you're going to like not have a feeling. She didn't even have a feeling. I don't. Even if she's like,
and then
was mad at her.
And then the princess
didn't know. No, I care about
you.
you.
I didn't know specifically, but I knew something. Bitch, that was too much. You should have said something.
Yep. And then I can stand the Princess Kit. I couldn't stand her stupid ass. Like, oh my God.
What was the point?
She's so unlikable.
Right.
The only
thing that
she didn't get any better. She was unlikable from the moment we met her, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's getting her ass kicked by the redhead, and then she's unlikable at the end. And it was like, yeah.
And of course they give her the damn magic
which that was a cool
armor
asset
shit.
armor.
And I was like,
and she's the only one that could use it. I really wanted the squire to be able to like redeem himself and be able to use it. And they gave it to her. I was offended.
He was the only character I liked. Borman. Borman was the only character I liked.
He was the only character I liked.
Is there any character that anybody liked?
Mark said it best. Kit and Allura were cringeworthy by themselves. They both were cringeworthy. Both of them.
Speak truth, my friend.
Did anybody find it weird? Like they're in these really tense, dangerous moments, and they're all just having these melodramatic conversations. Like,
yes,
and you didn't tell me the truth. It's like the ceiling is literally crumbling, and the ground beneath them is really splitting, and they're just having these weird melodramatic moments throughout them. I just thought that was just terrible writing.
Man, let's get into the writing. Let's dive all the way into the writing.
Okay.
So
Get into
in the
that
first
bullshit.
episode, it was classic fantasy writing. Just one episode, because I went back and rewatched this shit and
I
started
bet the
watching
script
it
was in
change.
crayon. I bet the script was in
Go back
crayon.
and rewatched it.
I went back and rewatched episodes, and I went back and said, when did the writing change?
Ooh,
It's like,
you're a glutton
okay,
for
Ron
punishment.
Howard wrote that first episode because it sounded like the original Willow. The second episode, it went straight contemporary, and I was like, are they talking like we talk today? Because I remember when the Prince Eric, he
rewatch
dressed like Mick Jagger.
He's horrible.
He's just like Mick Jagger.
Horrible.
He was horrible. He dressed like Mick Jagger. He woke up and he turned to the crone and was like, "Where you at? Where you at?" He literally said that. And when they were
drinking murky water. I'm sorry, he's drinking murky water.
Murky water. Talking about it's
But
good. It's
they
good.
They were talking present day,
contemporary
first
English.
episode. Because me and my wife watched it. She was like, "Why do they sound like they're in 2022?" It's just like it ruined it. And some people were talking like they were in 2022, and then some people had like that old
The
sort
black
of
girl. The black girl is the only one that had
it was just kind of all over the place.
Yeah. And not only top of that, let's talk about the costuming, right? They go in the black girl runs into the forest and it has Kit runs into the forest, right? And had the two lumberjack women. Why were they in contemporary clothes?
Yeah.
And why was the fisherman that before he went to the shattered ocean, why did he have on contemporary fisherman clothes? He had the hat, had it flipped up, like Gomer Powell and shit.
From Ted Lasso, I was like, oh, she did.
I was just getting ready to say that. I was like,
she did. She in here for a guest star. She collected paychecks. She was a fan of Willow as a child, and she wanted to do this movie. And she knew she had to get back to set, so she had one day and a good death. Yeah. And I was like, girl,
she had to tell her kids, her grandkids, look, I was on the set with little people.
Okay, I need y'all to stop.
Stop bashing little people.
No, I'm not bashing little people. But it's just one of those things that you see them so rare. This was a vehicle that was done specifically for them. As a matter of fact, it would have been more interesting if you spent more time at Willow's home where he was with the little. That would have been been more interesting.
You know what? Mims was my favorite character.
I liked her.
Mims was my favorite female character, and I honestly wish she would have gone on the journey. This was my favorite female character, and I honestly wish she would have gone with him. I don't know. I can't say that it would have made him more likable, but I definitely think it would have been an opportunity for him to pass the torch on to someone else. Mm-hmm. And I would have rather seen her than him. Because then like she's fine. Now you got them on this coming of age journey. Do you know what I'm saying? He's on this journey with like 12-year-olds, like legit, like 19-year-olds that have not experienced puberty, that are barely, grown up. And here's this like 70-year-old sorcerer who's clearly a bad dad. And like, like trying to figure himself out, still trying to figure himself out and prove that he's a good sorcerer after all these years when he literally knew he wasn't to begin with.
He's a magician. We gotta stop. He ain't no sorcerer. He ain't no wizard. He's a musician, right? He's pulling rabbits out of hats. That's
but a bad one.
Also,
but he's standing on the boardwalk at Venice Beach. Like he's not even a good one. Like he's got a hat out.
Right.
Not only that, his wife left him too. He said Kayla left him and the son disappeared. Her brother left.
Did he? I thought she said she died.
No, she left him.
When did he say that?
Yeah,
I'm thinking episode 9. When
I thought he said she died.
Did she die? And the son left? One of them left him.
The son left.
Okay.
The son left. Really, the actor who played the son was like, nah, I'm not coming back. Yeah. He's like, I've been retired since Willow. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I got my one.
Yeah, Kayla died and the son left.
Okay. Well, Kayla was such a loser. I mean, It probably drove her to death.
What? I liked her in the original. They had
I did too. She was amazing.
In the original, the two of them, their love story, when she cut her hair so that he could go and like take this with so you remember me, I was done. I was like, I was like, that's some love.
We got twice as much screen time, or twice as much many episodes and less screen time with them. I just felt like Willow, it shouldn't even been called Willow. If Willow would have died in the first season, we wouldn't have missed him at all.
He would have died in the first episode.
I think he should have, because honestly, he doesn't fit this. He doesn't fit anymore.
Nothing.
None of this. He's not a good teacher. I mean,
that's the only reason they kept him. They kept him to be Yoda to Laura Danny.
Right. But he's a horrible Yoda.
Did y'all even notice that they had Star Wars reference? They said magic, it is around everybody and it flows through us all. They used the same description for magic that they did for the Force.
I mean, it's a Lucasfilm property, so I didn't.
Yeah, they get let's make it similar to Star
Wars. I don't know, like
the guy wrote a solo story. The creator wrote a solo story, so
and like them describing things and using Star Wars references. To me, this was like, hey, it'd be a good idea. What if we give Jar Jar Binks a series? This is what this shit was like.
It was bad.
Terrible.
It was, because, and here's the thing, it's like they set up a bunch of things and then left all these like crazy loopholes, like, because pretty much Laura Dannon fell in love with Graydon on this journey. And yet why was she even considering marrying Crazy Eric in the hallucinogenic LSD trip? Like, why were you even pretending like you might want to marry this dude? Like, you don't.
And Graydon was a better person overall.
Can we talk about how Graydon just decided to learn how to make his flute magic?
Yeah, he just because magic flows through everything.
But that was part of the horrible, where we never really explained. We saw him kill his brother, and all he said was, "Yeah,
a demon took me over."
Yeah, a demon. I was possessed. I was bad or something when I was young. And we just left it at that. And now all of a sudden he's doing magic and shit.
With the flute.
He's like on the team, you know what I'm saying? Like he has all these scars on his body from whenever, like were you leached? I needed some kind of backstory.
Yeah, Jeff
didn't talk about it.
And Willow's so horrible as a trainer. He like, you gonna make a great wizard one day. Because anybody with any scintilla of magic better than him, which is low, the bar is low. So he like, you gonna be great.
What did you snack on? I just want to know. What did y'all snack on?
I snacked on the actual virtual production. I thought the virtual production was really good.
Okay,
so can I ask? No, this is an honest question. So when you say virtual production, do you mean like the scenery?
The scenery, some of the scenes.
Was that green screen or wasn't that just
green screen? It was all green screen.
Oh.
All of it was all green screen. So I think they did a really good job. Those artists did a really, really good job of making it look good. Like the Shattered Sea, when they're over the sea and they're doing on the fake little beach and the reflections and stuff. I was like, this looks like this some Star Wars Marvel grade virtual production for this. They spent a lot of money on this show.
They spent it all on Shattered Sea. And that little weird fish
creature, yep. He didn't look bad. That fish creature looked pretty good. I think
but it's like
I think they did their magic. I was like, this is some cheap Universal magic over here. This is some shit I see at Universal Studios daytime drama show for Harry Potter. This looks cheap.
It's like when the captain of the guards and his people got the little evil inside them, and they turn into these pseudo zombies or whatever. And then we get to the little fish that was pulling they boat across the Shattered Sea. But then when we actually get to see it, it looks like, something off the set of the Muppets. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what am I watching? Like,
I enjoyed that little creature looking like he looks like a Muppet, like a puppet.
But I like the little fish, but when it lost me? When him and Graydon when he was looking at Graydon, like having like a lover was breaking up. Like they were breaking up. Like it was almost like I felt bad. It was kind of like, situations that happen with certain dolphins, because dolphins like fall in love with people just like you know what I'm saying? And I was like, you're doing this.
Yeah, like the creature trusted Graydon.
Yeah, dolphins are very emotional, and they can fall in love with actual like humans. And then they like hurt themselves when they don't have that attached. They aren't allowed to either see that human or like they move away or whatever.
Yeah, like Graydon knew, like, here's this creature that trusts me, and I'm dragging it out to a place where it's going to die. So I let it go. I
thought that he let it go because at that point, all of them, the power of the chrome was getting stronger, and all of them are starting to trip and see shit. And it was evident that little thing was getting sicker and sicker.
It was getting sicker and sicker, yeah. But that's just because it's getting to the edge of the shattered sea. Remember, they could walk across the sea at one point, and it was like I don't know what else I can do. He's tired.
I just want to know how
been
come
dragging him for like weeks.
How did they just get over the waterfall and make it through the town? And Eric walked around, like you said, for weeks and couldn't find his way to the waterfall.
Because he walked around and you couldn't see the waterfall once you jump into it. I don't know where they're going after this, Courtney. I don't know how they're going to get out. There's no elevator there for them to go back up.
Why did they split up at one point in time, right? Why? And then somehow they just ended up back together. It would have made more sense for them to.
Was that when Laura Dannon and Kit fell off? They threw themselves off the damn waterfall?
No, are you talking about after Laura got kidnapped?
I mean, I'm talking about they made a decision to split up. Like,
I remember, because they were in the cave with Christian Slater.
And I just didn't get why they needed to split up.
Rakai.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. I didn't understand why they went to the castle, to the Old Queen's castle, and split up. They all went their own directions. Like, y'all went.
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious that Willow said she is the worst pupil of all time, when he's the worst teacher of all time.
Of all time.
What is the one thing you are not supposed to do? Go to the tower. Where'd she go? To the tower.
The tower.
Like, wow.
The worst. He's the worst. He's like the worst leader or, teacher, the guru of all time in all of literature. We've never seen anything this bad before.
Even his little friend was better than he was.
Right. Ain't had no magic.
He died.
Hey, his little friend was a G, though.
His friend was amazing. I really enjoyed him. He's someone who understood the mission. He is an actor who invested in his character, believed in his role, and was actually in the world.
Yeah,
that's another problem with me. What's his name? Warwick Davis? I didn't believe that he believed he was still Willow. I saw an actor playing a part that he was trying to just get a check.
Yeah.
I saw Warwick Davis say he didn't believe that he was getting paid to do this bullshit again. He's like, oh, it's for real?
Yeah, you know what it is? It's kind of like watching Donald Glover play Lando Calrissian.
That part.
No, it was worse than that.
I don't know. That was pretty bad too.
That was pretty bad.
That was really bad.
But this was worse.
That was just a different kind of bad. That was just different. I mean, that lost me when you try to tell me Lando Calrissian is a pansexual.
Well, it lost me just Donald Glover. Like, that's just not who he is. That's just not his swag.
No, not
Lando
at all.
Calrissian is cool. He's flying around the universe. He's getting girls. He's trading things. That just ain't Donald Glover.
No.
That's Donald Glover for white people. They're like, oh yeah, he'll be good as that. Like, nah. All the black people like, nah.
And all I can see is that pose.
It should have been the Duke. Should have been the Duke from
Reggae Jean Page.
Yeah, we can behind him being a super dope pirate, sleeping with people.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he would be Lando.
We can get behind that. We like Donald Glover, and I love a Lando.
You put a couple of tints of makeup
on Reggae John Page would have had everybody. He'd have had everybody drinking a Coke 45 at the end of
Exactly.
He sure would have.
Yeah.
He sure would have.
And I love Donald Glover, but nah, he is not.
I was like, not my Lando.
Bad casting.
I wanted to get a T-shirt that said "Not my Lando."
Right.
Not my Lando.
we off topic,
we should make that for Comic-Con.
Not my Lando.
Right. You can't go. Mark says you can't go from Billy D to Childish Gambino. You just can't. You just can't.
Facts, more facts.
Right.
Yeah.
What was worse casting than that?
Was that
when they put Childish Gambino and goddamn Magic Mike? I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
I have not seen Magic
Mike. Magic Mike.
I did not know he's
I will
the second one.
Well, hold on. I will say he wasn't bad. It was interesting. Like he was just like the MC. He was like he didn't even really like do much, but he was smooth. But he didn't really fit the world.
White people love
it.
him.
It has to have been that part that got him this part because the shit didn't make no sense.
Didn't make any sense.
He was better in that than he was in a Solo Story.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to Willow.
You can't put Channing Tatum against Twitch.
We just don't want to talk about Willow anymore. Let's be honest, Randy.
I know, but we got
hold on. I want to talk about something. I want to talk about the sister to the sister.
The sister.
The black girl that
in
the
tribe.
Yeah.
The tribe.
Yeah.
Why didn't they try to make her go along with them? She's definitely a more capable warrior, and her whole crew is more capable.
She wasn't going. She literally said, "You going to save these people? You going back with these people?"
Yeah.
She
had a lick of damn sense.
She was Whoopi. If the black girl was Sophia, then she was Celie. She's like, "You going?"
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going.
I thought she was the best character in the whole show. That was the only one that stood out to me. Everybody else, I was like, I
understood the mission. So it's like it's her, it's the Willow's friend and Mims.
Yeah, so
those three, and I did like the squire, but he was just there to give relief, and I think that made me angry.
I like him because he was on his own shit, and he used everybody. He told him whatever story to get him to do what he wanted to do the whole time. But he still had a little bit of integrity at the end. I like him.
He never got to finish his arc for me.
No.
Like even the fact that he did all that to try and find that thing that he was looking for with Mad Mardigan as a way to like honor Mad Mardigan, and then he finds it, and as a writer I can see him giving it to the daughter, but it wasn't earned. He didn't. It wasn't written well for him to make that decision, and that was the problem for me. It wasn't earned because
she wasn't right.
His own arc.
We never thought of her as being deserving of anything great because she's so damn annoying. So he giving it to her. It's like, really?
She was a brat.
Yeah,
is a brat. Yeah, she was like, I hate you when they found out you were the Lord Dunham, and I'm supposed to be the one.
Yeah,
like,
her character didn't symbolize that she was going to do anything great, and her arc was
she never became something that we should have like turned with her. She should have had a turning moment that we as an audience understood, respected, and decided to join her cause. And we never did.
And I don't know if it was the bad writing or the bad acting.
They filled it in they filled it in from her going to a brat to now she's got this YA love affair with her best friend. Like, that don't make me care about her any less or anymore. I don't care about her at all.
Because
I was hoping for her death. It's so many points in that shit.
Yeah, I think I would have had more respect for it if they had started the series with them being in either a secret relationship with the black girl saying like, you're gonna marry him. Well, if you're gonna marry him, then I'm leaving because we've been in this. Not like, oh, well, I got this offer to go. Oh, you're gonna go? Oh, well, I'm gonna go on this quest. Like nothing was earned. Like everything was like haphazard.
What made me upset was like Jade and Graydon never spoke to each other. Here it is, Graydon's going to marry Kit.
They never had closure.
And Jade is in love with Kit and been Kit's best friend. And they never have a conversation. Graydon talked to everybody but Jade. And Kit. They went on this journey. He didn't talk to Kit or Jade the whole entire time. He talked to Willow. He talked to Borman.
Let's be honest. He didn't like Kit any more than we did.
Yeah, he didn't like her.
Nobody did. I don't think
he didn't like her.
That part, him not talking to her, that seems on target because he knew that she wasn't shit. And he was like, why waste my time? I don't really want to marry you, but I'm gonna marry you because my dad told me to, and I feel bad because I killed my brother, so I'm gonna do what my dad told me to. But I don't like you. I'm gonna do my duty, and then you're gonna go and do you, and I'm gonna do me, and we're not gonna talk anymore.
So they were whatchamacallit?
That even pissed me off even more.
That was their whole marriage.
They took his character at the end where he survived the damn fall through or whatever, and now he's hanging out with the worm in them, and the worm or the chrome.
The worm is dressed up like sexy Laura Dannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But now she's got the
you gonna
army
tell me
of
you don't know
zombies
that's not
working
her?
for her, like, and he just thinks, oh, that's her. She switched
Like,
sides.
Yeah,
and you
he's a
don't have
genius
questions?
too. He's smart.
You think so, but I mean,
I think
like,
he would, but
Alora, when did you have time to cut your hair? Alora, when did you have time to get it styled and curled? Alora,
you know
when did you start wearing leather?
the facial hair was
Laura,
back
when did
for him
you
too.
start commanding the army of zombies? Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
facial hair
And
was back
creatures.
for him too, so maybe that's saying something. Like maybe he's a different version because he was clean shaven. Then when he wakes up, he's got the facial hair after he dies.
And he's evil. Maybe
Yeah.
that evil thing in him is taking over, and it's supposed to marry the
That's what I
worm.
think.
Right.
That's what the worm is connecting to. Is connecting to that dark
the evil
side.
ending, the dark side ending.
Right.
What's even more weird too is like they watched Graydon get thrown through the hole, and not one of them thought about going to get him.
Not one.
Not one. They're like, oh, he's gone.
I don't
Well,
know.
but here's the thing.
If they went
He
to get
did
him,
kind
I
of
would've went.
disintegrate.
Yeah, I would have thought he was
kind of
gone.
disintegrate.
Yeah,
I
would've
probably
been-
wouldn't have gone in the hole for him either.
Yeah, I thought
Literally
at the very
red.
end, I thought Alora Danny like kind of felt like maybe I should go back and, you know, like maybe
Check
he's
on
still
my
alive.
boy.
And it was like, come on,
maybe
girl.
I'm feeling the force. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: is that like his battle scene, his death scene was stupid.
It was.
It didn't even really motivate her. As first of all, like, what were you thinking? Like, honestly, what were you thinking?
I didn't think she could have.
I'm a
As a
weak
matter of
guy
fact, he
trying
did,
to save
he
the
did
girl I
one,
love.
he
with
did
my
one
flute.
shitty spell with his flute. I would have liked it more if he'd have played some jazz flute like Ron Burgundy. That'd have been better. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
Hey man, he was feeling himself. He thought he came into his own, and he thought he was just gonna take
Yeah.
over the baddest chick in the universe with his little weak spell, and she just was like, "Nah."
Nah, I'm just gonna forget you. I'm gonna kiss Eric and realize I don't want to be with him neither.
You know, that's it. All right. I think we.
No, because she secretly now has a crush on Kit.
Yeah,
All
right.
You know, it's gonna be a love
Yeah.
triangle between
It's gonna be her, Kit, and
Jade.
Jade fighting for
Well,
the
that leads me
affection.
to the point. Are we getting to see? Should we get a season 2?
No.
No,
Hell no.
All right,
No.
so all right, we gonna re-rate this thing. There's nothing else for us more to talk about. We started off with Courtney first. We ended with you, Rakai. So Rakai, how you gonna re-rate it?
like you in it with me.
We ended with you. All right.
Yeah.
How are you gonna re-rate it then?
I'm still gonna give it a snack because I want to give the virtual production artists their flowers, and everything else was horrible, but I thought it was beautiful. It was as beautiful as anything that Marvel and damn near Star Wars gave us in landscape and stuff. Everything else is trash. I
Oh,
was
that one
angry.
little thing is
I
helping.
feel you.
lift it
Give
up.
them flowers.
I-
Send them an email. Shit.
I kind of I do want to. Everything else is a snag, but I just want to give the virtual production artists their due because they're unsung heroes in this. They're unsung heroes.
Everybody in the chat, they killing you. So, like, no, Charles, no, they killing you out here, Phil. But it's your review, and you are entitled to it.
Give them their flowers.
All
I
right,
gave it.
Rakai,
I mean,
what you
this
doing, man?
is pretty bad.
How are you gonna re-rate it, Rakai?
You know, in this discussion that we've had, I have realized that my snack is tasting awful right now. Do we have a 0 rating? Is there
We
some-
tried
Oh,
one, but it just
cringeworthy.
didn't.
It's some
That's
old
what the
bullshit.
cringeworthy
Oh,
is.
some old bullshit.
Some
The
old
cringeworthy is
bullshit.
really that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you taking it down to cringeworthy?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yeah, it's some
Courtney.
bullshit.
Courtney. I don't want to
Uh,
speak for you, but I'm pretty sure I know where you're going. You're gonna keep your rating the same.
I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna
All right.
stay.
And I'm staying with
It's like in the
mine.
game shows when they say I'm gonna stay.
Yep, she got
All right, that
17.
gives us a cumulative score of 5. So that's a 1.25. So that gives us a cringeworthy. Our overall score is going to be a
Y'all
cringe.
such haters. There's people that work really hard on that artwork. Damn it.
They did, but
Listen, and I'm glad they got a
if
job.
I
They
was
got
them, I
paid.
wouldn't even put this on my resume. If I was a
Damn.
writer,
That part. I would just
director,
say I work for
anything,
Disney
I'd be
Plus.
like,
Well, where'd you
nah,
work on it?
I didn't. That wasn't me.
You know
I was
what?
hacked.
There's
I
people
was
that
hacked.
work real hard on every production. I'm sure the
yeah,
guy
that's
who
true.
puts up
That's
the
true.
lights and the guy who holds the
No.
boom pole on a porn set works really hard. That don't mean they get the goddamn flowers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
this
I
is
was
some
like,
bullshit.
I would be like, I was hacked. That was not me on that call sheet.
No. What you do is when you go to your job interview, you take pictures of the scenes you worked on and say, "This is what I worked on." What
Yeah, you
show is
showing
that
pictures,
part
Say
yeah.
I work for Disney.
They're like, none of
Plus,
your damn
period.
business. I worked on a
Yeah.
Disney project.
Exactly.
What,
Right, that's
what
it.
show was this on? Oh, that
It
doesn't
never
matter.
released.
Doesn't matter. That's right. It was never
Doesn't matter.
released. It's all kind of reasons. You
They
don't want
could
your
have
name
said, this
attached
is
to Willow.
Marvel. This is a Marvel show that never came out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I work for Lucasfilms. This is
Rikai, you got anything to say before we head out, sir?
ooh, this week was rough. Shit. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the weeks coming up because
Are you?
this one, like I was happy to, I binge watched pretty much all of this all in one setting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even fall asleep on it. But when I got done, I was like, I was mad that I didn't fall asleep. I was like, shit, I should have went into my own deep slumber. Of all the times for me to not have go into a diabetic coma, this was the time.
Oh,
Shit.
Lord,
Wow.
I am very. I could
Wow.
not have done it back to back. I take. You know what? I take that back. I watched the first 2 episodes. Because they dropped 2, and then I took a break, and I let 3, 4, and 5 stack up, and I let them play while I was unpacking. Yeah, I was just doing stuff. I was cooking, making a meal. It was just on. I caught most of it. I caught the general gist enough to be mad. and then I finished the last 2.
You missed all that stellar acting.
Courtney, you got anything to say before we head out, man?
Not my Willow.
Not my Willow. I'm with it. Chuck, you got anything to say before we head out, sir?
Man, I'm looking forward to the upcoming weeks for some of these shows, but some of these shows that we have high anticipation for, they kind of scare me right now.
Oh, I can think of one.
I can think of a couple, and I'm excited for them at the same time. But I did I binge every show, but I did when this show finished, I was mad because I wanted my time back, but I was like. So I had to go through and figure out what was really good about the show. And I was like, it was really pretty. They had no creatures, but it was pretty.
You that
See,
guy.
that's what confuses me though.
Terrible.
You binged it. You watched the whole show, but then you said
all 10 episodes.
Went back and rewatched episodes. Like you didn't want your time
because
back.
I wanted
to see.
Nothing
good enough for me to rewatch it. Nobody was even sexy. Everybody was just weird.
I didn't go back to watch it for enjoyment. I went back to see when the people start talking. Everybody started talking contemporary language. I just wanted to see when everybody started talking the contemporary English versus fantasy English. Because it did start off with fantasy English at first. Then it was like, what? When I heard the Prince come out, he like Mick Jagger, or what's his name, or what's his name from Labyrinth?
Oh, from Labyrinth. David Bowie.
David Bowie. He came at his shirt was unbuttoned and it was see-through, had the sparkly shit on it. I was like, they put everybody in contemporary clothes. That's where they go. They went to an outlet mall and just bought all this shit. They went to a thrift store and bought everybody's costumes.
It's like we want all the shit that used to be in merry-go-round. Bring it out.
They went to that thrift store out here, Courtney, the one, the really popular one, out of the closet. They went out of the closet thrift store for everybody in his cast. I was like, what time period are we in?
Yeah. All right. Benjis, we appreciate you guys for joining us. Next week, we're going to be doing The Witcher. We're going to be doing that Witcher miniseries. So come back and support us for that. The Geekish Network, we are about people of color. We've got people in front of the camera, behind the camera. We do this to create content for people that look like you. So please support us. We are on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. We are on Twitch. We are on Facebook. Share us with your friends. So as I said, next week we'll be back. We're doing The Witcher. Same geek time, same geek channel. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Mark said you ruined his childhood with this show. The show ruined his childhood. He's gonna put that out there.
Mine too, Mark.
I didn't remember it as a kid.